Let's continue with our coronavirus crisis coverage in Michigan. Very happy to be joined now live by Governor Whitmer with an update on what's happening. Governor, I want to start with what's going on in this search for more equipment, personal protection equipment for our hospitals. I'm looking at what you just told CNN a few short moments ago. You said, what I've gotten back is that vendors with whom we've procured contracts, they're being told not to send stuff to Michigan. What do you think is going on?
Well, I know that this is a struggle for states across the nation, frankly. Charlie Baker, the Republican governor of Massachusetts, was saying essentially the same thing. We have been encouraged to, procure supplies outside of the federal government. We've been working really hard to do that. We're bidding against one another. It's really not a great system. And once you do have a contract, you can find out later that it will evaporate because you'll be told that the federal government needs the materials. And it's incredibly frustrating. And I'll tell you this, I don't think it's particularly productive either. If we all locked arms and harnessed the incredible power of the nation, I think we would do a much better job meeting need and we wouldn't have states trying to cannibalize one another. It is incredibly frustrating. And as someone who has talked to the nurses and the doctors on the front lines, who've seen the videos of people going into or coming home from a shift, it's heart-wrenching to know that they are using the same mask all day long. They're putting their own health at risk to take care of others, and we've got to get the PPE they need. It's
extraordinary what we're watching them go through, but you've been really at odds here with the president. He had some very harsh things to say about you last night, and I guess the question comes down to how much of this is the responsibility of the states to be prepared for a moment like this, and how much do you rely on the federal government?
Yeah, we all have a responsibility. Usually in a national crisis, you might have, a war in a foreign land. You might have a part of the country that's been hit by a natural disaster, and we could all pitch in to help one another. Right now, COVID-19 is ravaging the United States of America, and we know here in Michigan that our numbers are skyrocketing. 801 new cases today, 32 more deaths today, and we know that it's going to be worse tomorrow and the days coming. And that's why, every effort that we're making on PPE, yes, we're trying to make sure that the federal government gives us our national stockpile allotment. We're trying to supplement that by, engaging in contracts outside of the federal government. And we're working with Michigan businesses and Michiganders who are all of a sudden, really trying to refabricate. How do we make these masks? How do we pitch in and turn our facility into a hand sanitizing producer one? I've seen some incredible stories of inspiration. I've seen some gut-wrenching stories along the way, and I think we have all got to pitch in and be a part of this. Absolutely. Do your part. If doing your part looks like staying at home, you're doing your part. Yeah. If you can, find some N95 masks in a warehouse that you're not using. Donate them to your local hospital. But we need everyone to do their part.
Governor, before we let you go, I wanted to ask you very quickly about schools. You have a lot of parents and students and teachers concerned on whether or not they'll go back. Will seniors graduate? Will kids be allowed to advance to the next grade level? What are the odds of that?
Well, we're definitely going to meet the needs of our kids, and this will not have been a wasted year. We are going to put together a plan that actually meets students where they are and helps them get to where they need to be by the time that they go back to school in the fall, if we don't get back yet this year. I've not made any announcements yet. It takes an incredible amount of effort with experts by my side to help make sure that we've got a plan that will address all of those concerns. Every order that I've executed has weighed heavily on me because there's ramification. There are people who are laid off. There are businesses that are closed that will struggle to reopen. And there are kids who are going without school and they need that education, and a lot of them need meals too. Mm-hmm. We're working to make sure that we meet their needs. This is a complicated, difficult problem to solve because we've got such discrepancies in our districts across the state. But we are going to meet the needs of all kids in this state, and we're working fast, and we're hopeful to have some announcement in the next week or two.
Okay. We look forward to that, and we appreciate you talking to us. We know you're very busy. You've been on all the cable networks, and taking the time to talk to us, we really appreciate it.
Glad we could make it happen. Thank you for what you do.
Thanks, Governor.